In this video, I'm going to share with you 7 unexpected, non-financial, disturbing things about retirement that you may not plan on. I just want to throw these out so you can be aware that if they come up for you, or if you've noticed them, if you've already retired, I'd love for you to comment below and help out other soon-to-be retirees. Okay, so the very first thing I want to share is having a feeling of being a nobody, not knowing who you are. What's your title? Who are you? Because for so many years, people have said, what do you do? And what do you do? Who are you? We become identified with our roles, whether that's as someone that's working, or someone that is also a mother or a father or a wife or a husband or a spouse or brother or sister. We become identified with these roles. And one of the biggest roles that we become identified with is our work role. If someone says to you, who are you, or what do you do? We normally don't say, I'm a wife. We would say, I am an accountant, or I am a financial coach, or I am whatever it is that you've done, an attorney or a doctor or an administrator, whatever it is you're doing. So we feel like we become what we were doing, and that loss of title can leave us feeling really, really empty, and it can leave us feeling like we're not sure of who we are. And this leads me to the next disturbing and unexpected thing that can come up in retirement, and that is feeling less valuable. It's one thing to earn money and feel good about earning money and see our progress as we earn money. But when that stops, it's easy to not feel as valuable because, well, earning money is something that's really important. It increases our value, I think. We certainly are taught that in school. We're taught that in career planning. We're taught that in working. And I think this is something that really, fortunately, the younger generations are sort of really pointing out that maybe it doesn't increase our value. But certainly as boomers, we were taught that it does increase your value, and we can feel like it increases our value. It feels good to make money, and I don't think that's a negative thing. But we have to realize that we have value just as a person, as who we are, and when we don't have that money coming in, it can make us feel less valuable. So we've got to replace that somehow. And I don't think it has to be with a thing that's either something we're doing or contributing. I just think it's an inner knowing that we have value as a person for who we are. And of course, there are ways that we can work around this, like volunteering, for example. If you change someone's life because you've taught them to read, or you've helped them become independent, or you've done something that's really helped someone, then absolutely that can give you more feeling of value than a job ever could. So there are certainly ways that you can work around this. If you can't muster up that feeling of just I'm worth a lot because of who I am, because I am a person. The next unexpected non-financial surprise is simply losing your network. This is a really, really big one. And while we all can have different networks, maybe we have a big family, or we have a club that we're in, maybe a golfing club or country club or something like that. A lot of us have church organizations that we're members of. That is a great community. But there's something really nice about that networking community that we have from our work, because we have that commonality. We're all working toward that goal, ideally, for the company or for the job that we're doing. And it is an important network. It's big in our lives, and we get to know these people that we see every single day. Most of the other people in our lives we might see once a week or once every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe less often than that. So those people that we see every day, even if we just check in and say, how are you, and give updates, then we become close to those people simply because of the frequency with which we're interacting and because of the commonality that we have with them. The next non-financial thing that can really throw us in retirement is lack of stimulating conversations. Work conversations are stimulating for most people, I think. They certainly were for me. They are for me. I love conversations about what I'm doing. I love conversations about investing. That's what's driven me doing all of this, I think, is I just like stimulating conversations. And the conversations that we have with work tend to be stimulating, whereas the conversations that we have at frequently social events are not as stimulating. Even if we're golfing or fishing or playing tennis or whatever it is, visiting with friends, having dinner with friends and or family, the stimulation level of those conversations is simply not comparable to those level of conversations that you have in work. And I guess that's one thing I really love about investing. Those are very, very stimulating conversations, and I would encourage you to have conversations about investing as well as to learn about investing for stimulating thoughts and conversations. But this is a non-financial surprise that may throw you in retirement that you're not expecting. The next thing that really can be a big shocker, particularly for women, but I think also for men, is, and I guess this happened during the shutdown as well, but it's a feeling of it doesn't matter how I look. And it's easy to just never get dressed and stay in your PJs all day and not worry about grooming yourself as you would if you go out in public, or even if you're in front of a camera on a Zoom meeting or you're interacting with other people where they actually see your face. It's sort of discouraging that it doesn't matter how you look. There's that relief that it doesn't matter, but then it can also feel a little bit like, okay, enough is enough. I need to get myself cleaned up and presentable here. The next non-financial surprise about retirement is that the newness of retirement wears off. The exhilaration of not having to get up and go to an office or even walk to your office and do a remote meeting, and having all this pressure to get all these other things done. That huge part of your life with that endless list of things that need to be done. It's exhilarating to get that off your plate. But that exhilaration can wear off as these other things set in, where you start missing the network, where you start missing the stimulating conversations, where you start missing the fact that it matters, that you've made an effort about how you look that day. The next non-financial big surprise is that the disenchantment and reorientation phases of retirement, which are very, very well documented, can last for years. When I was researching for this article, I was thinking, okay, well, that's probably a month or two, and I was putting the information together. Years. It's documented that these phases can last for 10, 15 years in retirement. So we may think that we should be over things quicker than we are, but studies and research show that that's simply not always the case, and that these reorientations and disenchantment phases of retirement can last for many, many years. And that's a really, really big surprise in retirement. Remember, whatever you do, retire certain.